Hey, it's me. So, I was going to tell you about how someone found my class ring after it's been gone for 21 years. And also, the story is going to have a ghost story, or really, I think it was an abduction. Like, totally, it was. But I'm going to tell you all that. Okay, so I don't have a Facebook account, but my mom does. And I was down at her house like a few nights ago, and she was like, "Hey, somebody tagged me on Facebook and they wrote your name on here." And so it was about that this guy who bought a house, and it was a house that I used to live at on West Bayou Street. So the guy bought this house and he posted that he found this class ring. He didn't put a picture of it, but it was like a description of what some of it was, but he didn't put like all the description in the details. So my mom talked to him and told him that it was mine. And so he said, "Okay, well, you can come meet me to pick it up." And so the next day we went. So I went back to the house on West Bayou, and like the door was open, but the glass door was closed. And so I just knocked on the glass door and I went inside. He was like, come in. And so I did. And then he was really nice, and his dad was there. There was also this girl that maybe was his girlfriend or wife. I don't know. I mean, it could have even been like his sister, or cousin. I don't know. But anyway, so there was like three people there, and then he gave me the ring. It was inside of a safe, and I was telling him, I was like, "Thank you so much. This is like really a blessing, and this is completely random." That you found it after so long. And he was like, "Yeah." And then I asked him, I was like, "So where was it?" And he pointed to this mantle that was on the floor. Okay, so and then he told me this is what happened. So he's redoing the house. Like they bought the house and they're like redoing it to sell it. And so they had like painted and everything, but the guy, okay, so there's this brick fireplace and it had a mantle on it. Well, the guy tore down the mantle to paint the brick around the fireplace, and then also I guess he was gonna put up a new mantle or something. I don't know. But anyways, he said that when he took the mantle down, he heard something, and it was this ring. It was my ring that was inside of the mantle. So neither he nor I could figure out how it got inside of there. Now, so this ring's been gone for a very long time. I never knew where I left it or lost it or what happened to it. Like I knew that no one else had it, but I just like always wondered what happened to it. So, anyways, back to where I was inside the house with these people, and so I was like, "Wow, that's really strange that that was inside of there." He was like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "Yeah. Well, so pretty strange things have happened in this house." And I wasn't even trying to like spook these people out or talk about ghosts or whatever. It just happened. It just fell into the conversation. So anyways, but when I said that, the guy that was the guy's dad, he said to me, he was like, "Well, there is a ghost in this house, you know." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I'm just gonna go for it." I said, "So do y'all want to know what happened? One of the things that happened to me in this house was this." And okay, so there was this Picasso that I had. It was a really large print of a Picasso. It was hanging on the wall. One night, my brother and his girlfriend stopped by. I didn't know that they were going to stop by or anything. I was home alone. And anyways, so they come over and I'm just chilling at the house. Like I didn't even have shoes on or anything. And so they come in and I was like, "Hey, what are y'all doing?" and everything. And we were like saying hello. And then I was gonna tell them like, "Sit down, like y'all go ahead and sit down and we'll hang out." Well, before they even got a chance to sit down, this Picasso come off of the wall. It did not fall. It like projected itself off of the wall. It spinned around in a bunch of circles, clockwise circles, and then it landed right side up, completely center in front of the bricks that were in front of the fireplace. Okay, so, and then after that happened, so me and my brother and his girlfriend, we ran out of the house. Like, I didn't get shoes, I didn't get my bag, I didn't close the door or anything. We just ran out of the house. And we were going to get in my brother's car. And then it took me years to realize this, to remember that it happened like this. But okay, so I never remembered what happened. I never remembered us actually getting in the car. Don't remember where we went. Also, I don't remember them bringing me back home, but I know that I woke up in my bed. So, like last summer, I was staying over at my brother's and his girlfriend's for a while, and I asked him, I was like, "Hey, so do you remember when all this happened?" And he said, "Yes." And I was like, "Okay, also this, do you remember where we went, or do you remember bringing me home?" And he was like, "No, for real, I can't remember that part." And I was like, "Me too." So we both experienced the same thing on that. Anyways, so that's what I told, the story that I told to these people. And I was so relieved because instead of them looking at me like I was absolutely crazy, instead, the man says to me, "So, something here happened that caused you to have missing time." And I was like, "Yeah." It just was so relieving to hear someone reply with that instead of just like, you know, oh my gosh, but you know what I'm saying. Anyways, yeah, so that happened, and it's also weird. It was so random. Like it was so freaking random that I did not even believe it. Like since this has happened, especially like I've been feeling like way more like zoned out than usual, and like so many things have happened, especially like since when I was on Jessica's show that day. Like I started feeling a new type of weirdness that now has become like normalized, like I'm used to it, but at first it was like super intense. And I mentioned that to her when I messaged her after uh we did that show. And then this to happen about the ring, and then it's all just like, how is all of this happening? And so when it happens, and it happens so quickly, and it happens like every single day, so I'm just like, oh my gosh, feeling so weird. But I mean, good, better, feel, world's changing, everything, this is like planetary. I hope everybody's having like crazy, random, unexpected miracles happen. Like, I hope it's happening everywhere. But anyways, yeah, so that's the story about my ring, and then that's the story. Oh, wait, also this. Okay, so the guy that was the guy's dad, he told me this. He said what happened like 2 nights ago to him was this. He was there in that house alone, and he thought that he was not alone in the house because this one light kept coming on, but then it would go off. And it was weird. He was explaining that to me, and he was saying something that it was like a motion detector light, and so he didn't know why it kept coming on and then going off and coming back on. Anyways, but yeah, and then I told him, I was like, dang, I wish I could just like hang out in here and talk about ghost stories all day. And they were so cool. They were nice because they were like, yeah, well, where we are if you want to come back. Oh, and this also, when I told him, I was like, I really enjoyed living in this house. It was a really cool place to live. And then they asked me, they were like, "Well, do you want to buy this house? Because that's what we're going to do. After we fix it up, we're going to sell it." And I was like, man, I wish. And so, oh, that'd be so cool if I could get that house. Also, I need to get a car. Also, I need to get so many things. But even though I do need to get so many things, I am absolutely content. Um, Oh, man, it's crazy. But I love you, and I'm already talking a lot longer than I thought I was on this video. Um, but you know how I do. Love you. Hope you're having a good weekend. Hope every day is really, really good for you. And yeah, have a good day. Love you.